An athlete is defined in the dictionary as a person who is proficient in sports and other forms of physical exercise. If that description fits you, and you have an interest in getting sober, staying sober, or exploring that field of sobriety and letting go of drugs and alcohol, this video we're going to use some language that I think will connect with you and speak with you from your experience as an athlete. What's going on, guys? My name is Noah. Welcome back to my YouTube video. In this video we're going to talk about how to think about sobriety, getting sober, staying sober, in terms that might be more universally understood for someone who has a physical practice that's consistent part of their life, like yoga or CrossFit or weightlifting, or a sport that they're engaged in like basketball or soccer or tennis, and or a background in organized sports. I feel like one of the things that really helped me get into a space of consistent progress for my own sobriety, my own recovery, was putting certain terms or certain concepts into a language I understood. And I understand physical practice. It's been crazy the last couple of years of binge drinking and really struggling with my addiction, how conceptually I couldn't understand what it would take to get sober, what that looked like in the midst of my addiction in reference to drinking, for example. But when it came to showing up every day at the gym and being disciplined there, I had that down packed, and I didn't really see the correlation. So I kind of want to bridge that gap for everyone, and I think it might offer at least someone a little bit of help in terms of motivation and or conceptual thinking for sobriety in general. First thing we need to do when we're identifying getting sober, we're trying to decide if we want to or if we can, or if we're going to stay sober, is just having a clear-cut reason why. If you don't know why you want to get sober, much like why you would want to go do yoga, you know, on a consistent basis, or why you would want to show up and bust your butt in a CrossFit gym like I do 5-6 days a week, if there's no clear-cut why, and that's not rooted in something deep within you, either for a person or for a deep passion or dream, I feel like it's really easy to lose sight of that. So I know why I do CrossFit, but I didn't take the time to put those same intentions towards why I wanted to get sober. And so I had to sit down and I had to brainstorm my reason for that. Like, why did I have that goal? And then what did that look like? And that really helped me spell it out. A myriad of things led to me wanting to get sober, and I don't want to derail this video talking about that. But physical health, mental, emotional health, spiritual health, financial health, the health of my relationships, all those things needed attention, and I needed to draw deep connection to that. So establish your why. Another thing that is important to recognize is that when you get sober, you need to plan your life around being sober. For most of us, I certainly can't speak for everyone, but for most of us, it's not going to be enough to just remove our drug of choice or remove alcohol from the equation and then expect to just feel fine. I plan my life around CrossFit very naturally. I know what time I need to eat in order to feel fueled. I know how much sleep I need, and I have sleep practices surrounding that because I want to have energy to express myself in the gym well. I have post-workout stuff, recovery. The point is, I make plans, I pack my bag, etc., etc. You're gonna need the same sort of plan with recovery, with getting sober, whether it be drugs or alcohol. This video is not to tell you what plan you should take, but it's just to encourage you and empower you to figure out some sort of plan in general. Because if you just stop, it's very likely that that inkling or that sort of stinking thinking that has you in a space of addiction, it's probably gonna come back. So if you have a plan around your physical stuff, your sport or your physical expressions, you need to have one around your alcohol or your drug issues as well. Number 3, programming. When you show up to the gym, or when you go do your yoga, or when you play basketball, or whatever your deal is, I know that I need set parameters and programming. I need something that's already been put in place, proven to be effective, that I can just follow. I'm one of those people that I don't rely on my own programming. Sometimes I have like inclinations or intuitions about what I need more than what I don't need. And so I can do extra, for example, but I don't rely on my own thinking for my programming in CrossFit. I trust a programmer who has a lot of success and background, and then I just follow that program. Same deal with getting sober. You need to follow a program, so you plan your life around your sobriety to make sure you can protect it, but then you need to have an action plan that's pre-established, that you trust, that you can just follow. Whether that be something like Smart Recovery or 12-step programs or any other how to get sober plans, whether it be through literature you read. There's usually a program out there. Find one that works for you and stick to that program. Don't rely on your own devices to decide what's best for your sobriety, especially when you're new. I think it's very important that you just have a path you can follow, much like I have a path I can follow in the gym. I've got a 12-step path that I personally stick to that I can follow for my sobriety. Number 4 is coaching. In sports, we have coaches. In CrossFit, I have coaches. I am a coach, and I also have coaches. My whole life, I've had coaches. That is how you cultivate these skills for these physical expressions. That's how you cultivate skill in sport. You have to have leadership. So just like we've been doing, creating parallels, you need to find that leadership for your recovery. Whether that is someone you really look up to, a model, someone who has battled a similar issue, such as yourself, who maybe has a autobiographical sort of story or a book. That's wonderful. Follow that. If you want to follow leaders in the 12-step program, people that you really trust, get a sponsor. That's what I do. I really like that. Someone who can guide you through the nuances, the traps, and the major loopholes or whatever in your thinking and your behavior to help you develop a better sense of your sobriety and to help you not try to assess yourself alone. I think a lot of us misassess what is going on in our own heads. And it's really, really useful to have someone objectively give you feedback. Just like I have in my gym practices, I want that feedback. It keeps me safe, right? It keeps me from overtraining. It keeps me from doing something the wrong way. It just helps keep me at my best. Same thing in recovery. So find a model that you can look after. Don't be your own model. Number 5 is consistency, and this one speaks for itself. Nobody ever got good at anything that they didn't partake in consistently. Whether those are athletic pursuits, physical pursuits, spiritual pursuits, education, it doesn't matter. We know that we have to be consistent in our practices in order to make permanent, in order to establish new wiring in our brain for how we want to do things, to get where we want to go, to accomplish our goals. When I first walked into CrossFit, I could not do almost anything that we were being asked to do. I had no mobility, I had terrible endurance, and my physical output was poor. I was relatively strong, but so limited, no overall fitness, right? And I had to be really, really consistent. I had to follow the programming, I had to follow the coaching, I had to establish clear-cut reasons for my goals and then just show up. And the same goes for recovery, the same goes for getting sober. And I can say from my own experience, showing up every day to 12-step meetings as I've been told to do, meeting with my sponsor every week and doing the homework and the readings that I'm being assigned. These things, going to see my drug and alcohol counselor, finding a service position, these things are paramount for me. I'm consistent. I'm consistent like my life depended on it. If I can show up every single day for my athletics, if I can show up every single day to train and to mobilize and to learn and to work hard and do all these things that I believe will better me, I need to be able to show up consistently every day for my recovery. And I finally pieced together this mindset and this idea that if I can't stay sober, I can't have anything. That really helps me. That really, really helps me. Bonus thing is to be patient. When we let go of our drug of choice, when we let go of alcohol, alcohol is my drug of choice, we can kind of want to conquer everything all at once. We want to just change everything, fix everything, make up for lost time, learn everything. We want to just, there's definitely this desire to do it all and do it all fast. And you know what? I think that learning how to live a sober life, not just not drink or use, but really immerse yourself in this whole new identity, this whole new being, all these new practices, understanding where you're going wrong and what you need to change to be truly fulfilled and happy, it takes time. And so you do need to just be patient and trust. And I think sticking to those other things that we already talked about will really, really help the patience piece of it, because you'll have some idea of what you're doing. If you're just sitting around waiting to feel good in sobriety, it's risky. It's risky. So you wouldn't get anywhere with your sport or your physical practice if you weren't patient and trusted the process with that. You've got to just show up and do the things that are being suggested to you, right? Same thing with your sobriety. Just be really, really patient. This has been the single greatest change I've ever made in my life. And I feel so much better physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually. My relationship with my wife is getting better, and I'm learning. I have so much access to myself. And not coincidentally, it's really made my exercising and my fitness goals 10 times more achievable and amazing as well. I think I've lost like 13, 14 pounds since I've gotten sober, and I'm really, really happy about that. That's all I got for you guys today. Please, 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 share your experiences in the comments below. I am not claiming to know it all when it comes to sobriety. I'm an absolute baby in this process, but I'm a hungry baby who wants mama's milk. That's a really weird thing to say. I'm staying humble, I'm working really hard, and I just want to share some things along the way that I think could be useful. Never from a perspective of being up here and talking to anyone down here, but just being here and wanting to make sure that I'm learning and teaching and learning and teaching and blah, 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 blah. We're just helping each other, so. Again, share your experiences, strength, and hope in the comments below. Believe in yourself. Have belief that you can become a new person. And just think about all the tools and all the concepts of sport and of physical practice that you already know, and apply those same things to your sobriety. Treat it with just as much tenderness and care and respect, and you'll be okay. And there's a whole great life out there waiting, which is awesome. And I love discovering it. My name is Noah. Adios, brochachos and amigas. I appreciate you guys' time. We'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces.